The water is completely still. Nothing is moving because something just sent 600 volts through it, and everything stopped. The year is today. Somewhere in the murky shallows of the Amazon basin, in a stretch of brown water that smells like rotting leaves and has about as much oxygen as a crowded elevator, you are born. This is already a problem. You are an electric eel, which means you are not actually an eel. You are a knife fish, more closely related to a catfish than to anything that deserves the word eel in its name. And the scientific community has known this for a long time and apparently decided that nobody cares. You are 10 centimeters long. You weigh almost nothing. And 80% of your body is already dedicated to the one thing that is going to define your entire existence, which is electricity. One day, that will become 600 volts, enough to shut down anything that touches you. But right now, you were born about 4 seconds ago, and your brain is the size of a grain of rice. So your body has plans that you are not yet aware of. Here is what nobody tells you about being a baby electric eel. You cannot shock anything yet. Your electric organs exist, but they are underdeveloped. Right now, you are a very small, very soft fish with ambitions it cannot back up. A AA battery produces 1.5 volts. You are producing slightly more than that, which makes you, right now, the least threatening predator in this river. The Amazon does not care about your potential. The first thing you learn is that the water is dark. Not dark the way a room gets dark when you turn off the lights. Dark the way a room gets dark when you seal the windows and fill it with mud. You cannot see more than a few centimeters in any direction, which sounds like a disaster until you realize you were never supposed to use your eyes anyway. You have something better. You have electricity. Every few seconds, your body sends out a low-voltage pulse, about 10 volts. This pulse travels through the water, bounces off everything nearby, and comes back to you as information. You know where the roots are. You know where the bottom is. You know there is something moving about 30 centimeters to your left that is roughly the size of a small shrimp, and you know this without being able to see it at all. You eat the shrimp. It takes 3 attempts because your strike is not calibrated yet. But on the 3rd try, you get it, and your stomach is no longer empty. In the Amazon, that is the only kind of victory that counts. The first week passes like this: pulses, detection, strike, miss, strike again. You are learning the geometry of your own power. And then something finds you. A juvenile caiman, about 1 meter long, hunting the shallows the same way you are, except it is using its eyes because caimans have eyes that actually work. It does not see you specifically. It sees movement. And you are movement. You discharge. It is not 600 volts. Not even close. But the caiman's entire body locks for half a second. Every muscle fires at once. It doesn't understand what just happened, but it leaves. Immediately. Without looking back, you learn the most important lesson of your life. You do not need to be the biggest thing in the water. You just need to be the most dangerous thing to touch. 3 months pass. You are 40 centimeters long now, and your voltage is climbing. Your electroreception has sharpened too. You can feel the electrical fields of other animals, not just the echoes of your own pulses. Every living thing produces a small bioelectric field. Every heartbeat, every muscle twitch, every nervous fish hiding behind a rock puts out a signal, and you can read all of it. This is the part where you start to understand what you actually are. You are not just a predator. You are a sensor, a weapon, and a remote control. That last part is the one that changes everything. You send out 2 pulses in quick succession, a doublet. It travels through the water and reaches a fish hiding under a submerged log, a fish you cannot see, a fish that has no idea you are there. The doublet hijacks that fish's nervous system, forces its muscles to contract. It twitches, just once. But that twitch sends a pressure wave through the water, and the motion-sensitive cells running down your body feel it immediately. You don't just find prey, you force it to reveal itself. You send the full volley, 500 pulses per second. The fish goes rigid in 3 milliseconds, paralyzed before it can process that something has gone wrong. You swallow it whole. No other predator in this river can do what you just did. The piranha hunts by sight. The anaconda hunts by heat and movement. You hunted something you couldn't see, in water you couldn't see through, by reaching into its nervous system and making it betray its own location. That is not a hunting strategy. That is something closer to a superpower. The piranhas that used to share this stretch of shallows have started avoiding your section. Not because you hunted them, because one got clipped by a stray discharge and the lesson spread. Your territory expanded without a single fight, just presence, just signal. This is a pattern you're going to see for the rest of your life, and then your body reaches a point where everything changes. 600 volts. By the time you are fully grown, you are 2.5 meters long. You weigh 20 kilograms, and your main electric organ, which takes up most of your body, hits 600 volts at peak output. That is 5 times a standard wall outlet, enough to stun a horse, enough that the caiman population in your stretch of the river has reorganized its entire hunting schedule around the times of day when you are least active. They figured this out without any help. That is how much damage you have done just by existing here. Your low-voltage navigation pulses go out constantly, every few seconds, all day, all night. Every fish in your territory can feel them. Some have evolved to read your signal as a warning. There is even a species of knife fish in the Amazon that now mimics your electrical signature, broadcasting a rough copy of your output to keep predators away. A fish that cannot generate 600 volts, pretending to be one that can. It works because your reputation in this ecosystem is so established that even a cheap imitation is enough to clear the water. You did not teach it this. You just existed long enough and powerfully enough that another species built its entire survival strategy around your presence. And then, in your 10th year, something happens that rewrites what everyone thought they knew about you. You start hunting in groups. Scientists only discovered this recently. You, an animal that everyone assumed was a solitary predator, begin coordinating with others. A large shoal of fish moves through deeper water. There are several of you nearby, drawn by the same signal. Instead of competing, you circle. You herd the shoal together, tightening the ring, driving the fish into a dense ball with nowhere left to go. For a moment, the entire river is alive with movement. Every fish in that ball thrashing, turning, trying to find a gap that isn't there. Then all of you fire at once. The water goes still in an instant. Dozens of fish, paralyzed, suspended in the water column, going nowhere. For about 30 seconds, nothing moves. No splashing, no ripples. Just silence. The kind of silence that doesn't happen naturally in the Amazon, because the Amazon is never quiet. Something made it quiet. And everything nearby knows exactly what that something is. You solved a problem that should have been impossible, because synchronized discharges should shock each other. But you angle your bodies outward during the volley so the current runs away from the group rather than through it. An electrical engineering solution worked out in the dark water of the Amazon, without blueprints or degrees or any of the things humans usually need to solve problems like that. A full adult caiman eventually makes the mistake of getting too close while hunting near your resting spot. You discharge. Its jaws snap shut on nothing. Its legs fire in all directions simultaneously. It spins sideways in the water, completely out of control of its own body for 2 full seconds. Then it surfaces, rights itself, and leaves at a speed that suggests it is updating its mental map of this river right now and will not be returning to this section of it. Every animal that witnessed that interaction updated the same map. The piranha eats what it can catch. The anaconda crushes what it can reach. The caiman takes what it can drag under. None of those strategies work on something that turns your own nervous system against you before you can close the distance. So the Amazon did what the Amazon always does with something it cannot remove. It made room, moved everything else to a safer distance, and kept going. The hunters changed their routes. The prey changed its habits. An entire community of animals reorganized itself around the fact that you are here. Not because you fought your way to the top, because your signal travels through the water constantly, and everything that feels it has learned what it means. The signal goes out, and everything that feels it knows the same thing. Something is here. Stay away. And they do. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next one. Drop a comment telling us which animal you want to see covered next. We read every suggestion, and the most requested one becomes the next video.